Everybody, thank you for joining me. And I am so excited today to announce the launch and the very first recording of my new FastCast concept called the Address to Impress FastCast series. Now, for those who may not be familiar, the FastCast concept is something I came up with. It's basically a short, abbreviated version of the strategies and reviews that I post on all of my social media. The whole idea is to be short because let's face it, we're all busy and our attention spans are limited. So my new FastCast series, the Address to Impress FastCast series, will consist of each episode. I will basically review a financial article published by some of the most respected names in the industry and provide my feedback to help you not only better understand the topics, but also hopefully help you make more informed investment decisions. And I might even sprinkle in a few personal branding from time to time. Why not, right? Today, I am going to address, get it, an article by Inc. magazine titled, Why Employee Bonuses Do Not Work. The article was published last month and was published by a gentleman named Kent Lewis. And he is a business owner, and he basically talked about his experience giving bonuses. But he also interviewed individuals, other business owners, from an entity called the Entrepreneurs Organization, to get their feedback and their experiences to hopefully understand if they were having the same experience or if there was something that he could tweak in order to make his bonus programs much more effective and efficient in the overall goal of rewarding and retaining key employees, because that's what bonus programs are all about, right? And I'm going to jump to the conclusion they put right here in the first paragraphs, and I think it will be a little surprising. At the end, they basically say unanimously, everyone, so the author and everyone in the entrepreneurs organization, these other business owners, basically unanimously agreed that cash bonuses simply do not work. So the article is going to talk about why, but some of these bonuses are incredible, and I think they're incredibly opportunistic. So I want to go through some of them because I was pretty surprised in a couple of these that they didn't actually work and they didn't help retain the employee. So he shares his first experience in 2007. And this one was an incredibly lucrative 2-in-2 compensation plan. And this plan, this bonus structure, indicated he would double every employee's compensation in 2 years if they hit their revenue targets. Now, for any employee that's making a W-2 wage, the chance to double that every 2 years sounds absolutely incredible. And I was a little surprised that this didn't work. And so he goes into detail about why the program did not work. And basically, he says the negative impact that followed outweighed the benefits. The largest bonuses inadvertently funded a competing agency that took my clients and employees. That is the main risk of any bonus program, right? That's for any business owner, that's the ultimate fear. I'm going to give this bonus and my employee is going to leave. And in this instance, he gave such an incredible compensation plan, such an amazing bonus structure that he not only lost his best employees, but according to him, they took his clients with him. And so he was kind of faced with a double whammy. And he goes on to say the bigger issue arose a year later when now the highly paid employees became disappointed because the next bonuses that they received weren't as much as the bonus structure that he had when the 2-in-2 program was in place. So this resulted in a 3-year downside, according to him, in employee morale and retention. So they pivoted. They went to something called spot bonuses. And this is basically where you just give people rewards for behavior and bonuses that's not a structure tied to any sort of, retention strategy. They're just basically going to give cash incentive bonuses. And he said by 2018, cash bonuses had all but disappeared and morale was higher because they had empowered the employees toward greater success and aligned with the recognition and vision and mission and other things that were important to the company. And so that's an experience that worked. And so he goes on to talk about some additional things. His entrepreneurial and agency peers shared similar experiences with bonuses having a neutral or negative impact on employee retention, indicating that cash bonuses simply didn't solve the problem. And again, what was the problem? To retain and reward key employees. Gusto said the average bonus was 2,145. Those numbers have come down, and they said that 86% of employees said they would stay at their company for a longer time in exchange for an immediate cash bonus. Now, this statistic does not address the fact that these employees leave shortly after, regardless of the reason. Again, they got the money already. Right? So you're basically giving them the money with no strings attached to it. And even though they get a great bonus from their employer based on whatever metrics that the company may have laid out, the employee end up leaving anyways. And so they basically go on to say cash bonuses are extrinsic motivators that fail to alter the attitudes and underline our core behaviors and beliefs. And I think that is one of the most key sentences in this entire article, is that they fail to alter the attitudes and the underlying beliefs and behaviors. At the end of the day, when you give someone a bonus, you're hoping to help them see the big picture and to understand that they're working as part of the company, and the more successful the company is, the more advantageous their bonus is going to be and the more successful they're going to be. But at the end of the day, whatever bonuses these owners were giving their employees, they simply didn't do that. And you know, this kind of goes to the core of the challenge that business owners have. And you may be a business owner listening, you may have the same type of challenge. So there's additional research, and they talk about, you know, there is further proof that bonuses are short term, unlike salaries, and they lack the ability to influence behavior. What I mentioned earlier, right? That's what you ultimately want to see. You want the employee to have an ownership mentality in the business. And it says there are a host of other issues around cash bonuses. For starters, cash bonuses really rarely help workers feel more appreciated, especially if the cash is automatically deposited into a checking account without ceremony. And so again, they rarely address non-monetary concerns, so other things that the employees might be concerned about. The article then goes on to say, you know, they're about non-monetary incentives. And again, it surprised me a little bit to hear that they had positive feedback with non-monetary experiences. So it was a little challenge to believe that the employees who earlier received double their salary were less happy in the long run than if they received different sort of compensation structure. So more desirable benefits, you know, some things like wellness-based benefits. So just some different kind of structure. This next portion is a paragraph taken from one of the members of the entrepreneur organization when they talk about offering phantom equity to one employee. And so, you know, for a lot of business owners who are familiar with the strategy of giving up equity, that's a lot of, you know, that's a common bonus structure. In lieu of giving up actual equity, they give up phantom equity. And this employee was given equity in 2013, and it talks about an experience that the employee is still benefiting in you know, 10 years later from the phantom equity, even though he's no longer even an employee because he still owns the stock. And that's a challenge with giving up equity in any equity, is it? Because again, once you give it to an employee, they have it. Right? There's no more strings attached to it. There may be some rules in terms of when you can exercise the stock or when you can exercise the phantom equity. But at the end of the day, it's theirs and you can never take it back. So the article finishes up with some additional things to hopefully help alter the mentality, things like tying bonus to behaviors you want to change over time that are consistent with your company's core values, and regularly communicate with employees regarding evaluation criteria, supporting financials, and how everyone wins when on the same boat rowing in the same direction. So this is where I'm going to sprinkle in a little bit of personal marketing here about our company, because this is really one of the areas where my firm distinguishes ourselves. We pride ourselves on having an incredible employee retention and reward structure. And without going through each of these things individually, I'll just do a quick review of the article, and all of the bonus structures that the article mentions were tried. They paid higher wages, and at the end of the day, that didn't work because they couldn't support the additional bonuses because the business fluctuates over time. It's not always a linear growth trajectory, so you never have the same amount of money to give the employees the same amount of time. They had the highly lucrative 2-and-2 comp bonus plan. And at the end of the day, they gave so much money in a bonus program that didn't work, and they took all of their key employees with them and their clients with them. So they not only, helped fund the competition, but they lost some clients as well. They gave a basic cash bonus tied to quantitative data. And at the end of the day, that one failed because it didn't alter the attitude and change behaviors, and the workers still felt unappreciated. And then they had a talk about a profit sharing plan with phantom equity. And that didn't work because the employee got all the benefits immediately and ended up leaving anyways. And at the end of the day, the business owner still had to pay for the value of those shares that were owned by another individual and maybe even a competitor over time. So how is our program different? How is the executive employee retention strategy different and help protect a business owner from each of these situations that is outlined in this article? And the first one is because our retention plan creates an ownership mentality, even though it doesn't give ownership through stock. Okay, so you're always kind of given an incentive to someone based on specific performance criteria that the business owner establishes, that is a constantly evolving benchmark for the employee to try to achieve. Things like profitability, things like revenue, things like margin, all of these things, our strategy gives the business owner the ability to not only define these things, but also set the targets that the employees are going to have to meet if they want to receive the bonus. And our program is completely discretionary. So that means they can give it to whoever they want to. So if you want to give it to 4 or 5 key employees, because the 80-20 rule, at the end of the day, a lot of business owners experience 20% of your employees drive 80% of your revenue. Those are the people that you want to reward. And the benefit of having the structure that we create is the employee has total visibility, and they even have the ability to manage the investment. But there's not only a bonus that they receive each year, but there's a windfall provision attached to it that they will receive a far greater amount if they stay with the company. So by structuring it effectively, you can not only reward the individual today, but you also have enough of a carrot on the back end to make sure that they continue to fulfill the employee retention requirements that you, as the business owner, established day one when you implemented our program. And the last couple of benefits is the incentives that are given are tax deductible. So it's not only beneficial for the employee, it's beneficial for the employer, and the vesting schedule is entirely customizable. So they get what you want them to get when you want them to get it. And so the whole idea is by establishing a structure the way that we do it as a firm, this is the only way to alter enough of the behavior and the mentality of the employee to reward them effectively each year, as well as to give them enough clarity on a larger amount or bonus or incentive that they're going to receive down the road if they remain employed with the company, which is the overall goal. So unlike the stock program that didn't work because you give it to them and now they have it and you can never take it back, we are able to do the same thing from a conceptual standpoint with a fraction of the amount of risk that the employer has for losing the employee or funding the competition, which you also are going to lose clients to, like the author did experience in this particular instance. So at the end of the day, I think it's a fantastic article, and I think it's probably a concept about bonuses that's a lot of business owners out there experience. Certainly, a lot of the business owners that we work with have this same type of experience with uncertainty about bonus structures, and they may be reluctant to implement it because they're concerned about some of these things, some of the things that these business owners in the article, according to Inc. magazine, have experienced. And so at the end of the day, what I would like to convey is there is an option. We do have an incredible employee retention and key person strategy that we implement for our clients that addresses every one of the reasons that this particular bonus structure, this article about bonuses failed. Every one of these it's addressed. I would love to talk to you about it. If you have the opportunity, please don't hesitate to reach out. I hope you have enjoyed the podcast, and hopefully you will tune in for the next episode when I review another article. Have a great day.